You've probably killed lavender before. Be honest. You saw that beautiful little plant at the nursery, brought it home, and imagined a soft purple hedge straight out of Provence. But a few weeks later, it was no longer a fragrant dream. It was a sad bundle of dry gray sticks in the garden. Here's what most garden centers never explain. Lavender usually doesn't die because you lack skill. It dies because many common lavender care tips push the plant in the wrong direction. The watering advice is often wrong. The soil advice is often wrong. And the pruning advice, that one can quietly destroy the plant for good. In this video, I'm going to show you 5 lavender secrets that change the way you grow it. These are not pretty seed packet tips. They come from the way lavender survives naturally on rocky Mediterranean slopes where the sun is harsh, the soil is poor, and nobody shows up with fertilizer and a watering can. By the end, you'll understand why your lavender keeps failing and how to grow plants tough enough to bloom with less attention, not more. Stay with me, because secret number 3 saves more plants than anything else, and almost nobody explains it properly. Number 1, stop treating lavender like a precious flower. Start treating it like a weed. This is the first mental shift, and once you understand it, lavender suddenly makes sense. Lavender is not a fragile garden diva that wants constant attention. It is closer to a rugged Mediterranean weed that happens to smell amazing and look beautiful. In the wild, it grows in places many plants would hate. Rocky slopes, poor limestone soil, blazing sun, dry wind, and long stretches with almost no rain. Those dreamy lavender fields in France are not thriving because someone is pampering every plant. They are thriving because lavender loves conditions that feel almost neglectful. So, when you bring lavender home and immediately start giving it rich compost, regular watering, soft mulch, and too much kindness, you may think you are helping it. But to lavender, that kind of luxury can feel like suffocation. Too much comfort kills lavender faster than dryness. Instead, look for the spot in your garden that seems almost too harsh. The sunniest corner, the driest patch, the place where the soil is thin, gritty, and not especially fertile. If that area is on a slope, even better, because water naturally drains away. A south-facing slope with rocky soil may look like a problem area for other plants, but for lavender, it can be paradise. Save your best soil for vegetables. Lavender wants the rough ground. Number 2, build the kind of soil lavender was born to live in. This is where many people lose the plant before it even has a chance. They hear the phrase, well-drained soil, and assume an ordinary garden bed is enough. For lavender, it usually is not. Lavender does not want soil that simply drains better than average. It wants soil that drains fast, breathes easily, and never stays wet around the crown of the plant. When you plant it, dig a hole about twice as wide as the root ball, but do not dig it deeper than the pot it came in. Lavender hates being buried too low. Then take the soil you removed and improve it in the opposite way you would improve soil for vegetables. Instead of adding compost, add grit. Remove roughly half of the original soil and replace it with coarse builder's sand, horticultural grit, small gravel, or crushed limestone if you can find it. Avoid soft clay sand, because it can compact and hold moisture instead of creating sharp drainage. Mix everything thoroughly so the roots grow into a loose, rocky, fast-draining pocket. Now comes the step most gardeners skip. Raise the plant slightly. Build a small mound and set the lavender on top, about 2 to 3 inches above the surrounding ground. This tiny hill matters because it keeps water from sitting around the base of the stems. Rain should move away from the crown, not collect there. The hard truth is that lavender rarely dies from being too dry. It dies because its roots stay wet for too long. Even during warm weather, the plant's roots need oxygen as much as they need water. When the soil stays heavy and damp, the roots suffocate, rot begins, and the top of the plant slowly collapses. And please, do not enrich a lavender bed with manure or heavy compost. Rich soil pushes lavender into soft, floppy growth. It can reduce flowering, weaken the fragrance, and make the plant more vulnerable to disease. Keep the soil lean, gritty, and slightly harsh. That is not neglect. For lavender, that is home. Number 3, the watering rule that saves almost every lavender plant. This is the secret that changes everything. If you remember only one thing from this video, make it this. Stop watering your lavender so often. That may feel wrong at first, Most gardeners see a plant looking tired and immediately reach for the hose. But with lavender, that tired look is often misunderstood. Yellowing leaves near the bottom, limp stems, dull gray growth, or a plant that seems to be fading can look like thirst. In reality, those symptoms often point to too much moisture around the roots. Lavender is built to survive dry conditions. What it cannot tolerate is sitting in wet soil. Here is a simple rule that works. After planting, water deeply once a week for the first 2 or 3 weeks. This helps the roots settle into their new home. But once the plant begins establishing, pull back hard. After that, only water when there has been no rain for 2 to 3 weeks and the soil feels completely dry about 2 inches below the surface. Do not guess from the top of the soil. Push your finger down. If you feel even slight moisture, leave it alone. And when you do water, water deeply one time. Then let the soil dry out again before you even think about watering. In winter, the rule becomes even stricter. Do not water established lavender. Cold, wet soil is one of the fastest ways to kill it. The plant is resting. Let it rest dry. If your lavender is growing in a pot, drainage becomes even more important. Use terracotta instead of plastic or glazed ceramic because terracotta allows moisture to escape through the sides. Make sure the pot has several drainage holes, not just one. If water collects in a saucer, remove the saucer or tip the pot slightly so water cannot sit beneath the roots. Lavender does not want constant care. It wants space, air, dryness, and time between drinks. Water less, and your plant will often grow stronger. Number 4, prune it twice a year, but never cut into dead-looking wood. This is where lavender becomes tricky. Many people are afraid to prune it, so they only snip a few flowers and leave the plant alone. Then, after a couple of years, the lavender turns woody, hollow in the center, and green only at the tips. It starts looking like a dry little nest instead of a full, rounded shrub. But the opposite mistake is just as dangerous. Some gardeners cut too deeply into the old brown stems, hoping the plant will come back stronger. Lavender usually does not work that way. The correct method is firm, regular pruning, but with a clear stopping point. Lavender should be pruned twice each year. The first pruning happens in early spring, when you begin to see fresh green growth appearing along the gray stems. Use clean, sharp pruners and shape the whole plant into a compact dome. Remove about 1/3 of the green growth. This should not be a tiny haircut. You are training the plant to stay dense, rounded, and full. The second pruning comes after the flowers finish, usually in late summer or very early autumn, depending on your climate. Cut off the spent flower stems. Then trim another inch or 2 of leafy green growth below them. Again, aim for a neat dome shape. But here is the rule you must never break. Do not cut into bare, woody, leafless stems at the base. Lavender's old wood does not reliably regrow. If you cut a branch back into brown wood with no green leaves, that branch may stay dead forever. If you cut the whole plant too deeply, it may never recover. Always leave at least an inch of green growth above the woody base. Think of it as shaping the living leafy layer, not chopping into the skeleton of the plant. Start this routine in the first year, even while the plant is still small. It may feel harsh, but it prevents the plant from splitting open, becoming leggy, and aging too quickly. A lavender plant that lasts for years is usually not a miracle plant. It is simply one that was pruned correctly, on schedule, every time. Number 5. Choose the lavender that matches your real climate, not your dream climate. This final secret decides whether the other 4 secrets will actually work. A lot of lavender dies simply because the wrong type was planted in the wrong place. People see a beautiful lavender plant at the nursery, fall in love with the color or the flower shape, and buy it without asking the most important question: can this variety survive where I live? Not all lavender behaves the same. The first group is English lavender, especially varieties like Munstead and Hidcote. These are among the best choices for colder regions. They handle frost, snow, and freezing nights much better than many other lavenders. They are also famous for strong fragrance and are often preferred for culinary use, but they can struggle when summers are extremely hot, sticky, and humid. The second group is French and Spanish lavender, often recognized by those little rabbit ear petals on top of the flowers. These are dramatic, beautiful, and eye-catching, but they are not the best choice for cold winters. They dislike frost and are better suited to mild coastal climates, warm regions, or containers that can be protected when temperatures drop. The third group is LAVENDER, the hybrid type that includes varieties like Grosso and Provence. These are the powerful workhorses of the lavender world. They grow larger, bloom heavily, tolerate heat better, and are often used in commercial lavender fields. For many beginner gardeners, lavender can be the most forgiving choice because it handles a wider range of conditions. So, be honest about your climate. If your winters are cold, choose a cold-hardy English lavender. If your area is warm and mild, French or Spanish lavender may work beautifully. If you want a tough, productive plant for general garden use, lavender is often the safer bet. The right variety does not just look pretty, it gives your lavender a fighting chance from day one. So now you know why lavender keeps dying, and more importantly, how to stop it from happening again. The secret is not more attention, it is the right kind of neglect. Treat lavender like a rugged Mediterranean survivor, not a delicate garden pet. Give it the sunniest, driest, roughest spot you have. Build it gritty, fast-draining soil instead of rich, heavy flower bed soil. Water it deeply at first, then almost never. Prune it twice a year to keep it compact, but never cut down into the old woody stems. And most importantly, choose a variety that actually matches your climate, not the climate you wish you had. Do those 5 things, and lavender becomes a completely different plant. Instead of collapsing after a few weeks, it can grow stronger, bloom harder, and come back year after year with very little fuss. If this video helps you save your next lavender plant, subscribe to Root Garden Wisdom. Every week, we break down the plants people think they cannot grow and reveal the real methods that actually work. And tell me in the comments, which lavender mistake have you been making?